Once you know tier lists exist, you can't escape them. I did one a couple of years ago, and I feel like doing another one. Sonic the Hedgehog is pretty speedy, and loves things fast, including cars, hence why he raced in vehicles that convert from cars to boats to planes, with his friends and characters from other Sega franchises in Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, and I thought I'd sort the tracks featured in the game. Here's my tier list template, and how it'll work is that S tier means the track is amazing, and F tier means the track is terrible. FYI, this is based on playing these tracks on expert difficulty for the best pacing, and all of this is my personal opinion. Get your motors running, because if someone goes All-Star, you must drive like the wind. Hey, I'm Owen, the Fiction Fanboy, and this is my Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed track tier list. First batch of tracks to put on my tier list are in the Dragon Cup. Ocean View from Sonic Heroes is where we begin. The first two laps show how basic they are, with a big loop on one lane, whereas the other has stone wheels that can flatten you. When you get to the final lap, that's where you're introduced to the water section, where you must avoid a giant squid and some bombs. It is one of the most fun starting courses in a racing game, although the simplicity is there. I wouldn't mind doing this one from time to time, but there are better options, so I'll put it in B tier. Samba Studios from Samba de Amigo is next. We're at a setting where big films are made, and you got to turn with a King Konish figure, sail among pirates, stroll through a western full of cacti, aliens across lava before reaching the finish line, so it's some of the many genres we would all recognize. Fascinating details aside, I'm not really feeling any of the movie magic they were going for. While there is no shortage on the themes they tackled, I would prefer seeing a director's cut, so it's going in C tier. Carrier Zone from Afterburner Climax is where we go now. We start on one of the big ships and will be traversing around small ships through the air, feeling a huge rush. We land on a different ship to briefly go across water, and a jump leads us to another air ride that returns us to our sender. I definitely had some Battleship vibes when playing it, and it's pretty epic, whether you are in the war or trying to avoid it. Highly recommendable this is, meaning it must be put in A tier. Dragon Canyon from Panzer Dragon is up. The first lap has racers going on curved bridges and across caves on the surface, while the second lap revolves around being on the river, and when the bridge is destroyed on the final lap, we fly above the river we already went through, having to dodge the rock formations and bizarre creatures hanging there. Splendid work on how all three vehicle forms are used, and it would definitely impress the dragon who lives there. It's a huge payoff, indicating that it'll fit right in at S tier. Next batch of tracks needing to be ranked hail in the Rogue Cup. Temple Trouble from Super Monkey Ball rolls into position. After a short stream, there are two split paths, and then statues will pop up in different spots each lap and have more forks in the road, with clever racers dropping down. Approaching the river will lead up to a whirlpool, and be sure to watch out for balls that come along the way. It was surely interesting how the developers went bananas about the obstacles they chose, especially with the balls. Nice way to kick off the second cup, thus it goes in A tier. Galactic Parade from Sonic Colors gleams for action. As we explore the floats of Starlight Carnival through going on an armada, and the path is made as we go along. The last two laps have us flying through an asteroid field, weaving the massive rocks, and going through the ones shaped like rings, or you can leave those be too. Don't mean to make any obvious puns, but the track is indeed colorful to look at, and would make a thrilling attraction for Eggman's theme park, so let's have it at A tier. Seasonal Shrines from Shinobi, your time has come. One short bamboo forest trip, and we make our way to a cave that takes us underground, passing a statue or two as we stroll across the water, and upon going back to land, be prepared to drive on lots of steps, no matter the size of each staircase. Having a track dedicated to Japanese culture is an honor, no doubt about that. However, I did think it can be improved upon for higher chances of being a legend, so I'll put it in B tier. Rogue's Landing from Skies of Arcadia wants to drop its anchor. On the island, we see sky warships, and even without a race going on, this wouldn't be peaceful, though we still go around. Despite this, we follow Vice's ship in the final lap while being in the air and look out for the mines so you don't blow up. The ways to deal with the chaos that's happening all at once are remarkable, and the bounty would be high if someone sold this place, meaning it must go in S tier. The third batch of tracks to take care of are in the Emerald Cup. Dream Valley from Nights into Dreams will really shake things up. We soar in a beautiful spring environment, flying through rains that change course each lap, avoiding danger, and then a portal takes us to where enemies lurk, with each lap taking us to different portions of the realm, and we end with a snowy short river section. The expedition sure is a whole lot of something, with all the sightseeing we could do, and no car form was a risk that worked well, so it's more than earning of being in S tier. Chilly Castle from Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg is going to have a cold omelet, seeing as we travel through a village and its castle, and there be some crows and snowmen in later laps. A tunnel leads the racers to a frozen tunnel of underground water and ice crystals that'll take them out of the castle and back to the village. Snow courses aren't really for me, as winter is my least favorite season, yet there is a little bit of enjoyment to be had, hence why I'm putting it in D tier. Graffiti City from Jet Set Radio is gonna need a paint job. It looks like people are manufacturing the city, and we'd even be going on parts of the equipment being used for building during the travel, and a bombing happened at the final lap, forcing us to fly through the construction that's occurring. The place was no metropolis, that's for sure, and it's not super impressive, especially at the beginning, and although navigating through the work being done did save the track, it's not quite enough. Unfortunately, it's going in C tier. Sanctuary Falls from Sonic 3 and Knuckles has a shot to rise. We fly across the ruins needing to elude the egg robos and see the Death Egg from afar for the first and final laps, whereas the second one takes us to the ground as we go in and out of the towers that hold the place together. Literally taking to the sky is quite a blessing. The atmosphere does give us a nice glance, and the Generations was still newish at the time the racing game released, therefore I'll place it in A tier. Another batch of tracks that are required to be sorted come from the Arcade Cup. Graveyard Gig from the House of the Dead EX has been given life. There are a lot of creepy hazards that will surely put an end to racing's existence, and the first two laps have a waterway surprisingly not poisoning us, and later, a detour takes us to the basement, leading to the mansions outside, and strangely no transformation there. Admittedly, it sets the scary tone pretty well, though I honestly expected a little more for the final lap, as the beginning had more horrifying things to worry about, so it's going in B tier. Adder's Lair from Golden Axe sure is making me boil right now. We got quite a lot of magma as we will be riding across it through boats and over it via planes. Not to mention, the road has its dangers like fire, a swinging axe, and some risky jumps before getting back to the lava lake. The track definitely went above and beyond with how we navigate the course of such a deadly element in our planet, and I wouldn't have it any other way, implying that it earns a spot in S tier. Burning Depths from Burning Rangers, I have received your SOS. The place is all fine and dandy as we find ourselves going through tunnels and driving on metal platforms, but it won't be that way for long, seeing how a major flooding happens before the second lap, and it only increases as we progress through the track. If you want to have a life or death operation with tons of water involved so badly, you'll feel right at home without question, and those who love listening should accomplish the objective quickly, so it's being placed in A tier. Race of Ages is the only original track here, and the time has come. Getting across the neon roads that don't always have guardrails is easier said than done, especially with a jammed map. Whomever is in first place chooses the path for the second half of the lap, either water or sky. Both have their series of obstacles to overcome in this ultimate task. You always need to save the best for last, and I say they pass the test with flying colors, as it is quite the challenge, so it has to be in S tier. And the final batch of tracks in this tier list video are in the Classic Cup and DLC. Sunshine Tour from Samba Amigo wants to know where it goes. Upon exiting the town and knowing not to hit the few pots there are, we see a different character from each portion of the track in the background, as there are 3 of them, and in between the characters has ground distinct from one another, for Mexican heritage is the theme. The visuals shown throughout are pretty, but that's about it, since everything else about it is bland, and I don't like playing on boring tracks. Unfortunately, it's going in F tier. Shibuya Downtown from Jet Set Radio Future arrives on a moment too soon. Not so long after the starting point, you can either go down where all the other cars are, or make a big jump to break a huge billboard. Then you have more stuff you'd see in normal streets, aside from a ramp or 2 before wrapping up. Of the 2 tracks that revolve around NPC vehicles, I like this one a bit better because it's less complicated and surprisingly a bit more fun, so B tier. Roulette Road from Sonic Heroes is feeling very lucky to have entered. Can't be sure if I can say the same thing for the racers, as they have some poker chip stacks that'll make them go dizzy if they collide into one, and the paths split in 2 as both have cards imprinted in them, and you must choose carefully. I won't need a casino telling me how good the track is, and it's a huge win for such a game, hence why I'm putting it in A tier. Egg Hangar from Sonic 2 has held on long enough. Egg pawns have been made, and they won't get in your way as long as you stay out of theirs, and you have the lower path giving you a handful of jumps, or the higher route where you make one huge hop before realizing you've been on the death egg. You have to give the evil doctor credit for being beyond brilliant, due to the fact that he really has thought of everything, even entertainment, so this one goes in A tier. OutRun Bay from OutRun 2, you're our last stop. At this beach, we initiate on the road and can either stay on it or get on the sand, disrupting someone's vacation, with both lanes making us bypass the sea full of various boats, and some of them even have ramps on their sides, so go around them or over before reaching shore. For being the only bonus track, it's rather underwhelming, and the way I'd make it better is to add a flying section, so sadly, I must put it in C tier. And now it's time to look at the finalized results. 5 tracks are in S tier, 7 rest in A tier, 4 lie in B tier, 3 are in C tier, just 1 is in D tier, and only 1 wounded up in F tier. I'll leave a link for you guys to see the tier list without the watermark, and if you agree or disagree with the positions of any of these tracks as far as how great they are to race on or not, let me know in the comments so I'll get an idea on what your tier list would look like. This was my second tier list video, and to those who made the game possible, as well as those who played it, I simply should say that you guys are all-stars. Want the fiction to spread? Then please like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications. Don't forget to also comment below and follow me on Instagram for teasers and thumbnail previews of future YouTube videos. Thanks for watching, look forward to seeing you again, and have a good night-o!